Okay, you look expectant, and I probably don't look very well prepared and ready. Maddie, come and join me. Make us look more professional. Welcome, everybody. My name's Dave. I'm one of the ministers here, and you are...
I'm Maddie. I'm Maddie.
And we've got an all-age service today. We're having the whole time together. It might be a little bit shorter than normal, but no one's going out to any groups. We're staying together all together, and that feels like a lot of fun. Maddie will tell you a bit more about that in a moment. But welcome to One Church. If you are new here, you're especially welcome. If you have been around for a while and you were expecting a kind of quiet, normal service, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry to have let you down. But hopefully we're going to have some fun today. Just to tell you some kind of house rules. The kids are with us, which is awesome. If at any point you just think, oh, they're just too fractious and too distracted, and you want to take them through to the Buds room, which is down the corridor there, or if you've got a little baby and you want some space, there's a little room just off here to my right. Is that okay? Tell us about what else is happening, Maddie.
So we're going to be having an all-age service today, as Dave said. This is a little bit new, and it's something that we're going to be doing a bit more often as well, so get used to it. It's in the kind of interests of having us all together as a bit more of a collective and having the opportunity to learn together, experience things together, all of that sort of thing. So let's see how this one goes, and then we'll kind of roll on from there, and they're going to be kind of every month or two to just bring us together and have a bit more of an intergenerational connection with everyone going on. So
Fantastic. So let me tell you about what is happening so there's no surprises. I'll tell you a little route through our service, which we try and do so that helps people just imagine what's kind of going on. We're going to sing in just a moment. we are going to have a Bible reading. I mentioned last week, and I think I'm really excited about this, that throughout 2020, what year are we in? 2026, we are going to look at the whole of the book of Mark together. And that's going to be a sort of consistent theme that we come back to. We'll do 4 weeks, and we'll have a little break, another 4 weeks, have a little break, another 4 weeks. And by the end of the year, if you've been around, hopefully you'll be able to say that you've looked through this whole story of fundamentally about Jesus, but an amazing little book of the Bible that we're going to look at together. And so we're going to begin that today by reading it together. I'm then going to give a little reflection or two to you. In fact, before that, Maddie's going to do an intergenerational, who's the best generation in the church moment. So we'll look out for that. I'm going to do a little talky bit. We're going to sing again. We're going to do the second part of our reading. We're then going to get you to discuss a question together. We're going to then have a little bit of feedback on that. And then we will have a moment that we're going to do something, I think, quite special together as we finish up. And then we'll sing. Is that okay? Because that's what's happening. Awesome. Okay, Maddie's going to lead us. We're going to say a prayer together, and we're going to then sing. But let's say this prayer together.
So we're going to be saying this prayer twice today, and the hopes is that it will make a bit more sense at the end of the service than it will do now. So if you say the bits in yellow, and I'll say the bits in white. This is the beginning of the good news that invites us to change. We turn around and we turn towards life. A voice calls out in the wilderness, turn back, turn around, make a new way. We turn around and we turn towards life. When our choices have taken us off course, away from love, away from justice, we turn around and we turn towards life. Turning back is not about shame or fear, but about noticing and choosing again. Turn around and we turn towards life. Jesus comes close and says, the time is now, God is near. Turn around and turn towards life. So with open hearts and our steps towards you, we begin again together. We turn around and we turn towards life. Come, let us worship. Everyone stand up for our song.
Do stand up if you're able. We're going to start with Great Are You, Lord. You give life, you are love. You bring light to the darkness, you give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. And great are you, Lord. Listen, you give life. You give life, you are love. You bring light to the darkness, you give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. And great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. You give life, you are love. You bring light to the darkness. You give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs. the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, and all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. Lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down. Lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down. Lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down. At the feet of Jesus. At the feet of Jesus. And bring your worry, grief and pain, every cause you have for shame. Lay it all down. Lay it all down. And when your cares have buried you and there's nothing left to do, lay it all down. Lay it all down at the feet of Jesus. At the feet of Jesus. Carried on, but your heart was tired. Feared the worst and felt the fire. Lay it all down. Lay it all down. And filled with all those anxious thoughts, and all your doubts became your God. Lay it all down. Lay it all down at the feet of Jesus. At the feet of Jesus. Lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down. Lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down. Lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down. At the feet of Jesus. The feet of Jesus. And when we've given up on better days, there are memories we can't erase. Lay it all down. Lay it all down. When we've come to feel what we can't explain, and there's nothing here that can ease the pain. Lay it all down. Lay it all down at the feet of Jesus. the feet of Jesus. Lay it all down, 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 lay it all down at the feet of Jesus. At the feet of Jesus. Lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down. Lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down. Lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down, lay it all down. At the feet of Jesus. At the feet of Jesus.
Seat? Lovely. So, as we're a place that welcomes everyone, we're just going to take 30 seconds to have a little bit of an icebreaker, to say hi to somebody around you. Bonus points if you've never spoken to this person before. But also, if you're not feeling in a chatty mood, you don't have to. But we're just going to take a minute to say hi to everyone around us. Right, if I can bring everyone back together, that would be lovely. Might take a minute. Lovely stuff. So I'm going to have a really quick, because we're all here, which is really nice in terms of kids and adults and all that sort of thing. I'm going to just take a minute to talk a bit about what we've actually been doing in kids over the last month. So, as you see here, I've made a lovely display board back in the hall. And we have been actually covering quite similar to what you guys have been doing in the last month. So we've been looking at transitions, but we've been looking at it through the eye of the story of Ruth and Naomi. So we looked at changes, and then we looked at kind of tough choices, and then we went on to wellness and well-being, and then we ended on the idea of new life and what that looks like. And it's been a really, really lovely journey. And it's been nice to have this as a kind of representative of what we've been doing. And as you can see, we kind of do a different craft or activity each week. My favorite, the second week, we've got a lot of letters. Now, kids, for the letters that you wrote yourselves, I know it's only been about 3 weeks, and it was supposed to be for like way future self. But if you want to come and grab it at the end of the service and keep hold of it, and then you can open it whenever you want to open it for your future selves, because I think probably a lot of it doesn't apply to 3 weeks from when you wrote it, but that's fine. And anyone else, if you want to come and have a look at the display board at the end, please feel free to. It's not going to be there for much longer because we'll do another one soon. So now we will be having a reading from Dave.
I've got a microphone. Okay, so welcome if you came in during the singing. But what I said at the beginning was we're going to start looking at the book of Mark, and we're going to go through the whole thing. I know I'm saying "gonna" a lot. I think it's because there's young people here, and I'm trying to get down with you. I'm going to look at the book of Mark, and we're going to read the whole thing. And generally in other services, we'll look at the whole chapter, and we're literally just going to do chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, and so forth. If you have a kind of routine of reading the Bible, then I'd really encourage you to join us in doing that when you're at home. If you don't, this is a good time to start. It's a really good time to grab a moment, and when you have some time, it might feel like you never do, but you could listen to it online somewhere, but I would suggest grabbing a Bible is even better and going through Mark so that throughout this year we feel like we're in this journey. I've done that a few times recently. I listened to it on a journey. It takes about an hour and 15 minutes if you go on Spotify and look at that. There's a lovely thing where David Suchet reads the whole of the book of Mark to St. Paul's Cathedral. And the place is you can find that online, and he reads it even better than me, which will shock you. And that's quite a nice watch and listen. And just work your way through it, because I've really, really appreciated doing that myself. You might sort of think, oh, you're a great church leader, a man of faith, you know the Bible inside out, and I am, you're correct. But just being reminded of the simplicity of the story and this beautiful, profound Mark's Gospel, which is perhaps the kind of punchiest version of Jesus' story. And it just gets straight in, and honestly, it's kind of breathless, one thing after another. But it's a brilliant way to be reminded of this incredible life of Jesus. So the reason I'm really encouraging you to read chapter 1 is we're not going to read it all together today, because we sort of felt like it's not particularly kind of all age friendly. So we're going to read 10 verses together, and we're going to get to know those 10 verses right at the beginning of Mark chapter 1. So your homework, you love homework, don't you? Your homework is to read the rest of Mark at some point. Is that a deal? Yes, brilliant. So we're going to read this through, and we want you to kind of enter into the story, and we're all going to do this together. And so Sam and I have kind of worked on this together, but I haven't seen what Sam's done. So this is going to be fascinating. I'm going to read you. There are going to be things that appear on the screen, and when you see, this is Martha, isn't it? When you see, is it Martha every time? No. Is it? Various of Sam's offspring. If it's not your kids, I've started a terrible rumour. Yeah, okay, I wish I'd seen these beforehand. All you've got to do is listen really carefully to the story and enter into it. And by using your body, you might enter into the story a bit more. That's the idea, okay? Awesome. So stand up. Stand up if you can, so that you're up for it. We'll go through these actions that will appear in the story, and you might need to just engage your childlike self and have a bit of fun with this. So let's have a little go with that first action. When that appears on the screen, you're going to do that. Awesome. Second one. Can you do that? That's the universal sign language of what? Swimming. Yeah, well done. Slightly, yeah. Next one. Every time the word baptize is mentioned, you do that. Cool, okay. Oh, look at that one. You can do that one, turn around. Come on, if we all do it, it's less painful. Come on. Is there another one? Oh, good. So you say that. Okay, can you do that? Awesome. And Popeye. That's right. Is that? Oh, yeah. And then, do you remember the dove from above? Anybody remember that? Coo, coo. You have to do that. Coo, coo, coo. Okay, what's that? Oh, that's cupping your ear. Yeah. And I think that's the last one. Awesome. Very cute pictures. So, do your best to listen to the story and not just do the actions. Here we go. This is a sort of slightly paraphrased version by someone called Paula Gooder, and it's lovely. But this is Mark chapter 1. It starts with this. It says, "The good news of Jesus Christ, the Son of God, began like this. Just like the prophet Isaiah had written a long time before. Look out! I am sending my messenger in front of you. He'll make a way for you. A voice shouting in the desert." Have everyone shout the next two lines after you. You're going to shout the lines. This is what John shouts in the desert. Make a way for the Lord.
Make a way for the Lord.
Make straight paths for him.
Make straight paths for him.
Again, make a way for the Lord.
Make a way for the Lord.
Make straight paths for him. Awesome. John, the one who baptized people, was in the desert. He was telling people about a baptism that turned their lives around so that all the wrong things they had done could be forgiven. Everyone came out from that area, from Judea and Jerusalem, and as they admitted what they had done, John baptized them in the River Jordan. John's clothes were made from camel hair, which he tied with a leather belt, and he ate locusts. And the honey that you can find in the wild. That's it. Awesome. Have a seat. Have a seat. Well done. Do you remember the story? Did you actually hear the story? It's a great story. Awesome. Maddie.
Okay, so we just had a little look at kind of the courage that John the Baptist had to live differently. He wore different clothes, he ate different things, and we're going to have a bit of a competition to see who is the bravest out of kids, youth, adults, and over 60s. Okay, those are our 4 categories. And we're going to test you in a way, a little bit how John the Baptist was tested. Okay, so off of that, we need some volunteers, but you need to be super brave. If you think like, I'm the bravest of my generation, come forward. However, you cannot be a vegetarian. I'll give you that warning. So if we've got any volunteers, right, we might have a couple from kids. If you think you're super brave, that's fine. Do we have a youth volunteer? Any chance? Any youths? Go on. You won't be able to represent your generation, and then you won't be able to be the bravest if you don't. No? That's fine if we don't have a youth. Have we got a youth? Have we got a youth? Are you brave? Yeah, nice. And any brave adults that want to volunteer? Yeah? Okay, perfect. Nice and brave. And lastly, do we have a super brave over 60s that wants to represent their generation as well? At all? Anyone? No? We sure? We sure? Come on. Yay! Lovely. Perfect. Right. Okay, so let's kind of get us into our groups. So maybe kids, we got youth, and then we can shift up a little bit this way. Now, I kind of wish I had a spare hand for this. We have got something. So, to test the bravery of our volunteers, we've got a little snack for you to try. Now, let's have a think. What did John the Baptist live off? Any ideas? He did live off honey, something else. Locusts. So, how brave do we think we're feeling to try yummy locusts? The kind of point system in this is the straightest face you can keep is the bravest. Okay? So no like, otherwise you're not passing as the bravest, okay? So let's see how it goes.
And another level of bravery is, I mean, they're teeny. They're teeny.
I think you
can
have
either
a few.
take a handful or you can take one, but you can't pull a face while you do it. So get ready, see what you want to go with.
See how much you
There's
want to have.
locusts, there's mealworms, and there's dust by the look of it. Come on, Ali.
We'll be judging your portion size. Well done.
That's a good start. So far, adults are in the lead.
Good job.
Go on, Flo. Awesome.
Well done.
It is
Straight
amazing.
faces all round.
When we lifted up the baptistry, it's amazing what we found under there. And you are so brave. Just one? Just the one? Come
Having
on.
one?
A couple.
Couple? Well done. Ice cold.
Come on, Al. If you take... Oh, Al's gone with
Handful.
the... Al is loaded
That
up.
is a handful there. I
That is
think
impressive.
unless anyone can top a handful of those, I think we might have a winner. Anyone think they can top a handful? No, I think we have our winner.
I think we have a winner.
I
Give
think
Al
we
a
have our
round of
winner.
applause.
Tasty? Nice? How were they?
All right. Should we
Quite
pass
yummy?
these round?
Still chewing.
Anybody fancy one? Let's pass them around. These are the bugs of Christ shed for you. It's me.
Well done, guys. Good job. Good job. Thank you for that.
Okay. I just want us to reflect for a few minutes on the story that we heard and the craziness of what we just did there. This kind of thing, I wonder what your answer would be. We're not going to have time, but we could have given you a question just now, which is, why would John go and do that? If you've got, there should be a little, can I just borrow yours a second? If you've got, you should have sat on one of these or have it in your hand. Just hold this a moment or two. And we're going to come back to this in a minute, so don't lose it. But this is kind of a representation of John. He goes out into the desert, this dry, dusty sort of place. He wears camel hair with a leather belt. He's eating these wild locusts, he's eating this wild honey, and living differently. And I don't know whether you spotted it, but for me there's this really profound kind of moment in the story here, where was John in the story? In the desert. Where was everybody else? In the towns, in the cities. So in Jerusalem and around, these are where all the people are living. And it begins with telling us, here's some good news. And the word that is the Greek word, who thought we'd be talking about Greek words in an all-age service? But this is for you kids to remember and tell your friends at school. The Greek word is euangelion. Euangelion, which we translate as good news. And people before kind of Jesus' time would have heard this word euangelion because it was shouted in the streets. And it was shouted in the streets by people who were the servants of the leader in Rome called Caesar. And if Caesar won a great victory and won a war, and we've got historical records of this happening, the servants of Caesar, the people who he was the boss of, he'd send them around the streets with a trumpet. Euangelion, euangelion, Caesar, the good news of Caesar. And they would walk around the streets telling like the latest news. It's a sort of equivalent of Google, I suppose. And they're walking around the streets saying, the good news of Caesar is here. He is awesome. He is amazing. He's just won another battle. When that Caesar died and the new Caesar was crowned, they would walk around the street saying, good news, good news. This is the good news of Caesar. A new Caesar has been crowned. And people would have to chap and clear along. It didn't matter how you cheer along. It didn't matter how you felt. You had to do that. And here, you've got this crazy situation. We're not in the streets where everybody's living, not because he has to and he's forced to, but because he feels God's call. He goes out to the desert, and strangely, he shouts in the desert, this is the good news. This is the good news. Make way for the good news. But this is the good news not of Caesar, but the good news of Jesus. And so we're thinking about the good news of Jesus. But the first thing we want you to think about today is what would have actually have had to have happened. If you wanted to hear that message, then you'd have to leave your home. You'd have to leave the place that was familiar to you and go out to the desert. It is a crazy story how this story begins. God could have written it in the sky so that everybody could have seen it, but it began with one person shouting in the desert, saying, come out. Turn away and around from your daily lives and turn towards and come to this new message. Because this is the gospel of Jesus. The gospel of Jesus is turn around and change. Be free. Turn towards life. That's the message. That's what we're thinking about today. The story, the gospel of Jesus Christ, is a gospel that is different to the world. It's different to how we're doing life normally. It's calling us to make a choice, to do something different. And John is just calling. He's just the first bit. But he's saying, I want you to turn and come towards this new thing that's happening. And we're going to find out what the new thing was in just a moment or two. But I wonder if you've ever had a kind of major change in your life. I wonder if you ever had a moment where you thought, I don't want to be this way. I want to do something different. I was thinking about my own life. And this is a slightly crazy story. But when I was in my last year of junior school, I had a fight with this kid. He was the hardest kid in our school. And I had a fight with him, and I beat him. And that's a terrible thing to tell you, and I have got no pride whatsoever about that. But it meant that when I went to big school, I went to secondary school, people started to go, oh, you know Steely, he's pretty hard, Steely. And at first I thought that was really cool. You know, that's great. You know, yeah, I'm pretty hard, actually. I'm pretty handy. But you'll know this if you're in secondary school. It's the worst thing. Because then the really hard kids who think they're really tough go, oh, Steely thinks he's hard, does he? Where is this guy? So my first year of secondary school, I got into so many fights. And by luck or judgment, I sort of held my own. And I really didn't want to. And I was getting in trouble with the teachers. Eventually, there was a letter home. I got told to not come back to school for a little while to think through my actions. But every time I tried to be good, somebody wanted to pick a fight with me because I was apparently one of the hard kids in school. And actually, inside, I was petrified. I would literally come through. There was a particular point where you came out of our school gates to cross the field, to climb over the fence at the end, this sort of shortcut thing. And there would literally be days when I would come out and I would see 2 or 3 lads, and I knew that they just wanted to fight. And I couldn't break out of that cycle. And I remember one day just thinking, how am I going to stop this? And I promise you, this is a true story that I can picture it still so clearly. I went into school one day, lashing it down with rain, a bit like today. So we didn't go out at lunchtime. We were all in the classroom. And when you're all in the classroom, it all gets a bit crazy anyway, doesn't it? And these kids are all messing about. And there's this teacher's desk was here, and there was the whiteboard was there. And it's a blackboard. I'm not young enough to have a whiteboard, but it was a blackboard. And I had my bag over my shoulder, and I'm talking to a friend, and I bump into this kid in our class called Richard Kirk. Now, he wasn't one of the cool kids. He was quite a bit smaller than me, and my bag hit him in the face. And he suddenly just went, shoved me, and went, come on then. And I'm looking at him, and he's like down here, and I'm like, what? He said, come on then, come on then. And everybody in the class goes, oh, this is going to be awesome. Steely's going to smash this kid's face in. So they started doing that thing that they do, fight, 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 fight. All the other classes started to empty, and they poured in. And because I couldn't get away, Richard Kirk is here, gets smaller every time I tell the story, and I'm here, and I had my fist ready to punch him. And around me is my friends saying, smack him one, Steely, smack him one. Or they're actually saying, go on, Steely, smack him one. It was in Birmingham. And I wasn't going to smack him, but I just thought, oh. And they're saying, come on, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? And Richard Kirk, basically to tell you the difference between the social groups that I was in, I sat on the back row of the bus with the hard kids. He would stand and talk to the driver. It was that kind of relationship. And he's standing there, and I remember he had a cold, I think, because he had these bogies, and he was breathing in and out, these bogies were going up and down. And I thought, all I've got to do to please my friends who are going, hit him, hit him, hit him, is to hit him. And I remember this moment that changed my secondary school experience. This is honestly true, where I just thought, when is it going to stop? It has to stop at some point. It has to stop now. And in front of this whole classroom, baying for blood, I said, sorry. And I put my hand out. He didn't know what to do. And he shook my hand. And the whole room just went, oh, Steely, they were so disappointed. You know, that was the entertainment for the day. And they went back to their classes. I never, to this day, I've never had another fight. I never hit another person. And I only tell you that story just because it illustrates it's possible to change. It's possible to make a different choice. And at the beginning of Mark's Gospel, there's a guy called Tom Wright, some of you might have heard of, and he says the beginning of Mark's Gospel is like somebody who's fast asleep being woken up with a bucket of freezing cold water. Because come out to the desert, change your way. Come here because there is change and we want you to do life differently. Turn around, repent. It's an old-fashioned word, but that's what it means. It means repent. We're going to do something that could go horribly wrong, but we are just going to give it a whirl. In your chairs or with your chairs, I want us to turn around. So, as I walk past you, I want you to turn around and have a different view. And as you sort of settle into your new spot, I don't suppose any of you have sat in the position you're in now. I stand up here.
I'm going to move you slightly that way.
This way?
Yeah.
Oh, hello at home. This is going to be weird. I'm very close to you right now. Just touch the screen. Touch the screen.
Top down.
Yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I stand there week in, week out, and I know where certain of you feel comfortable and you sit in the same space. In fairness, we're a kind of church that doesn't happen very much, but none of you have ever sat in this position before. All the people who desperately wanted to be at the back and left alone are now on the front row and will volunteer for something. No, you won't. No, you won't. Everyone who's really keen, the salmon's back there, love you. But suddenly you're on the outside a little bit and the cool kids are at the front. And everything kind of changes. And the message of God, the kingdom of God, is everybody can change position. You can change your perspective. You can turn around. So in just for a couple of minutes, just chat to somebody next to you. It can be someone that you came with and you're comfortable with, or you might just want to introduce yourself. But literally in just a few minutes, have a little chat and see if you can think of any times that life really changed for you. Was there a moment where life changed for you? Not necessarily, let's stick with for the better. And it might be that you can't think of anybody. You might think of a friend or a story that you read about once or somebody famous whose life changed. Let's see if you can just tell each other some of those stories. Is that okay? So you've got 3 minutes to do that. Have a little chat around you. Did your life change in some way or someone that you knew? Okay, let me interrupt you there. What we'd love you to do in a moment or two is to, if you're happy to tell the rest of us, it'd be good to hear from 2 or 3 people what your story was. So continue to think about that. We're going to come back to it in a bit, but just think, would you be happy to share what you just shared with someone else? Or it might be that when we sing a couple of songs together now, you have another memory that you want to share with us in a moment or two. Is that okay? So the band are also going to play from a position they've never played before, in a key they've never played in before, is my request. But for the rest of you, hopefully, you should be able to see the words either on this screen or on up here, Sam. Is that right too? Yeah, there you go. Awesome. They're all working. Have a stand if you can, and let's sing together.
Sorry. Wow, sorry. We're going to do a slightly more reflective one, mostly because I didn't get the memo that it was a kids service. Also, it's a new one, so we'll do it a couple of times. We'll repeat everything a couple of times, so hopefully you'll get it. And anything I can do? Yeah. Shall I move the floor back? Try again? If you want to make it more fun, you can do it in the style of Bob Dylan, which I think would work well for this song. Coming out? Lord, you spoke those words. You spoke so tenderly. Now I choose to believe you love me, you love me, you love me. Sing that again. Lord, you spoke those words. You spoke so tenderly. Now I choose to believe you love me, you love me, you love me. You're taking me by the hand again, giving me strength to dance again. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. You're taking me by the hand again. You're giving me strength to dance again. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. When my heart is frail, when I'm incomplete, I will choose to receive. You love me, you love me, you love me. And when my heart is frail, and when I'm incomplete, I will choose to receive. You love me, you love me, you love me. You're taking me by the hand again. You're giving me strength to dance again. 'Cause your love changes strength to dance again. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. You're taking me by the hand again. You're giving me strength to dance again. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Your love. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Last time. Your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. And Lord, you spoke those words. Spoke so tenderly. Now we choose to believe you love me, you love me, you love me.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Lovely. Now, before we do our kind of feedback of our turning moments, we're just going to finish off this last passage from the first chapter of Mark. So, also remember to keep along with the actions. So, perhaps, actually, I might get you stood up. So, stand back up, ready for our actions. Can we see them? Yes, perfect. Lovely. So, he told the people, "There's someone coming after me who is stronger than I am. I am not good enough even to bend down and take his sandals off. I baptize you with water, but he will baptize you with the Holy Spirit." At that time, Jesus came from Nazareth, and he was baptized by John in the Jordan. As soon as he came up out of the water again, he saw the sky split apart and God's Spirit come down on him, looking like a dove. And a voice came out of heaven. "You are my son. I love you and I am delighted with you." Perfect. If everyone would like to take a seat. Gorgeous. So, we're kind of looking at this turning moment that Jesus had through this baptism. And so, it kind of, we're looking at how, it's all good to change, turning point, all of that sort of thing, but it also depends on kind of what we're turning towards a little bit. So with that, do we have anyone who would like to share their turning moment that they have been talking about at all? None? No one at all has got a turning moment that they would like to share? I'll come to you.
Thanks, peer pressure. So some of you will know that I'm a twin, and my twin was born 10 minutes before me, so she was the boss. She was the one that would go ahead and push all the boundaries, and I would very much enjoy them afterwards. But she was the adventurous one and seen by many people as the brave one. So it was very unexpected when I decided to do a gap year, and I went off on my own to a remote place in Africa and spent a year there. And that was a really defining moment for me. It was a time of finding myself, of just finding a bit of bravery, and just sitting there thinking, actually, I can make decisions on my own. And so that was a big turning point for me, and actually was quite instrumental in what came next and the decisions I made from there.
Perfect. Thank you, Sal. Anyone else brave enough to share a turning moment in their lives at all? Anyone? I'm seeing some pointing happening. There we go.
Hello. So, growing up, I'd never been to a church ever, and I wasn't a Christian, and I thought, I'm not allowed to come here, I'm not a Christian, I wasn't baptized. And then one day, I came here, and I haven't looked back. I think it was similar, that it was something I didn't think I was brave enough to do, and then I just did it. and now I feel like I belong here. So do it even if you're scared.
Brilliant, thank you. Yeah, it can be scary, those turning points, but it's all about the bravery. Anybody else would like to share, or have we is everyone keeping it to themselves? Oh, we've got someone over here. Lovely.
Hi everyone, I'm Fran. We recently started coming to One Church and we've just never looked back. But my turning point moment was at the end of the last year. I was very unwell and I was in hospital. So I just had to think about taking care of myself and prioritising rest and recovery, because especially when you're young, you don't expect to be kind of out of action for a period of a couple months. But yeah, doing better and focusing on recovery and positive change. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Lovely. Okay, so I'm now going to pass back over to Dave for our final element of the service.
Thank you. Ooh. Brilliant stories. That was so lovely. Thank you. We're nearly done. We've thought about that second sort of chunk. And fundamentally, we've thought about, hopefully, even the way we're standing here, it's going to be hilarious if somebody comes in really late, isn't it? Or you're desperate for the loo, but we're all going to watch you go. So hang on in there. But the fact that we're just in a different direction, even that in itself, hopefully, is a reminder that the first thing you need to do if you want to have more life is to turn away from the things that aren't giving you life. That's the call. That's John's message. We're in captivity here in one sense. For them, it was a Roman leader. For them, it was not being in charge of their own governance, of paying taxes to a foreign empire that was being built through might and through violence. I've got a cricket stuck in my throat. That was a bad move. And they had a choice to make. They didn't even know they had the choice. They thought that this is it. Well, perhaps life will always be like this. The Romans will just rule us. We'll give over our taxes. We'll never come out of poverty. We'll never make our own choices. But John comes in the desert and says, there is another way. There is another way. It's a profound, beautiful thing. I remember taking my son Jake and his friend to the cinema once. And it was a Saturday morning, and we went in, and it was quite full, and we were a bit late, got in the dark. The trailers all started, and we've had some popcorn and having a great time. And the trailers were, I was thinking these are a little bit sort of inappropriate for what it was that we were going to watch. And anyway, didn't think anything of it. The trailers take a long time, don't they? More and more. And there was adverts and there was trailers. About half an hour had gone by. That film hadn't even started yet. And Jake and his friend are going, is it starting? I said, it'll be in a minute. Boom. And then he got the certification comes up, 15. We were in the wrong screen of the cinema. And there was a bit of me that thought, I can't be bothered to move. Let's just stay. Texas Chainsaw Massacre sounds like a lot of fun. But we had a choice, It does sound ridiculous, but I'm just comfy. And oh no, we better go. So we went out, eventually went through. The film had already started that we were supposed to be seeing. But there's a choice. And we often just sit through versions of our own story that we're not actually very proud of and that we don't actually want. And the turning moment is called repentance. And it's what John says do. That's half of the battle. The second half is, but what do you turn towards too? There's no good me as a kid going, well, I'm going to turn away from having the odd scrap in the playground to become a cage fighter. Well, maybe that would have been better. But, it was turning away from violence to non-violence. It was turning away from something that's destructive towards something that's life-giving. And we're finishing right at the beginning of Mark with one of the great stories of history where John the prophet says, turn around because someone is coming who is greater than me, who I'm not even worthy to tie his sandals. And then this beautiful moment where Mark doesn't even bother with Christmas. I don't know if you noticed that. There's no nativity, there's no wise men and sheep and everything else. He just thinks, let's just get into it. Because suddenly, Jesus, I don't know whether you noticed in Maddie's reading, Jesus just suddenly appears. And John says, here he comes. This is the one who you should point your life towards. And Jesus, in his obedience, goes and gets baptized. So we're going to finish our... Yes. We've got another story. If it's quick, that would be awesome. Thank you. Go on.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm also new here. Recently moved from South Africa. A couple of years ago, myself and my life partner, we went through something quite difficult and we separated for about a year. Within that time, I did a lot of self-reflection within myself and I realized that I wasn't the greatest partner. And where I'm feeling quite convicted is what actually led me to start that realization was actually Mark. And it was one day that myself and my son started reading the Bible and we just opened up to Mark, and that was the first one we actually started reading together, and it became a tradition that every night we would read one chapter or one verse, and throughout with Mark I actually learned the value of a family, the importance of it as well, and more so of how to actually be a proper partner and a man.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. Well, that's really kind of you and brave of you. Appreciate that. This is a story that can change your life. But you have to choose it. You have to go, this is not the movie that I want to watch, actually. There is another version of life, and life in all its fullness. And what we're going to do is we're going to finish by doing something completely crazy, but we're going to have a mass baptism. Kind of. What we want you to do is I want you to grab this thing. And for a moment or two, I want you to imagine that this is that old life. It might be on a personal level, you just know that there's something you'd like to change. It might be that this is more than personal. This is about the whole of society and the world. That the world is not as it should be at the moment. That there is injustice and unfairness, and you're fed up with the people who are at the back and on the margins being left behind, and the people at the front of the feeding trough getting everything, and systems that are just broken, and you just would like there to be a different way. And whilst John was calling individuals to come and get baptized, what actually happened was the whole world was released through the coming of Jesus. It wasn't just about me and what I want. This was about the transformation of society. The reason that we have church, that we're here today, is because we want to live a different way. We want to have different values. We don't want to live just like everybody else. We don't want to be self-centered. We want to be other-centered. We don't just want to be thinking about what I can get. We want to be thinking about what we can give. And so we're asking each other to turn around. So in a moment, we're going to listen to a little song. And then as you kind of want to, and it will be slightly chaotic, but it would be kind of nice if it was a little bit thoughtful. So as I come back down this way, do you want to turn your chairs around? So as we, I found a new song a couple of days ago, looking for this. Paul and who else leads? Sam. I'm giving you a challenge that could we sing this song together one day? Tell me how difficult it is. But we're going to sort of watch the words, listen to this song. And it's talking about the kingdom of Jesus. I think that's an interesting phrase. I've been around the church a long time, and we talk about the kingdom of God, talk about the kingdom of heaven. But this song is about the kingdom of Jesus. They're all the same thing, actually. It's just different names. But this song has got some interesting lines in it about what does the kingdom of Jesus look like? What does it look like if you say, I'm not going to be excited about the good news of Caesar because it's not good news. It's generally bad news for normal people. The good news of Jesus is good news for everybody. So we're going to just take our time, there's no hurry, but what I want to encourage you to do if you'd like to is to come to this pile that says old and to put your old way down, to make your way down into this baptistry that hundreds, maybe thousands of people have come in the 120 odd years of this church, have come into this space normally filled with water. Pause for a moment and choose to come out this side and take one of these, and we'll finish, and I'll tell you what we're going to do with them. Take one of these, or there's a piece of string. And every Baptist church that I know of, the baptistry has two entrances. When you think about it, it doesn't really need one, does it? It's cost a lot of money to make this, and you could easily go splash. come back out, couldn't you? Every Baptist church I know of, there is one way in and there's a different way out. And that's what I want you to think about. What is it that you'd like to see left behind? As you go down, pause for a second and come out and take a new way. Does that make sense, what we're doing? So we'll play you this song, John. Thank you. And you might need to loop it. But just as you're ready to, if people need a little bit of supervision, do that, but don't worry too much. But just pause and make your way out and through. And then if you could come back to your seats and we'll finish together. Let's do that.
To what shall we compare? Kingdom of Jesus, not a seed. It's small, it's sown, it's tended and grown, and it's sturdy in you and me. Its branches never break, and its fruit never withers. His kingdom is not of this world or of any kingdom whose ruler's face is on a penny. He comes to make all things bright and put a new wine in us. He's chosen the small things to outlast the great, the meek and the merciful to shine through the hate. Though it seems some days that hell and its gates are prevailing. Oh, say, can you see the kingdom within us? It's the kingdom of Jesus. To what shall we compare? The spirit of the hour, if not a sword. It frees us, unites us, enslaves and divides us in violence. Help us, Lord. His kingdom is not of this world or of any kingdom whose ruler's face is on a penny. He comes to make all things bright, put a new wine in us. He's chosen the small things to outlast the great, the meek and the merciful to shine through the hate. Though it seems some days that hell and its gates are prevailing. Oh, say, can't you see we have one allegiance? It's to the kingdom of Jesus. He who is in us is greater than he who is in the world. He who is in us is greater, and he's overcome the world. Oh, his kingdom is not one of slander or rage, but one that is ruled by the Lamb who is slain and is worthy of wisdom and honor and glory and strength. No pain, no division, no public disgrace will compare with seeing the smile on his face as he welcomes us home as children with places at the table. Neither death, nor threat, nor power can ever separate us from the love of God forever in Christ Jesus. Everything shall pass away, but not the word that's within us. No, it's the kingdom of Jesus. The kingdom of Jesus. what shall we compare? Kingdom of Jesus, not a seed. It's small, it's sown, it's tended and grown, and it's sturdy in you and me. Its branches never break, and its fruit never withers. His kingdom is not of this world or of any kingdom whose ruler's face is on a penny. He comes to make all things bright and put a new wine in us. He's chosen the small things to outlast the great, the meek and the merciful to shine through the hate. Though it seems some days that hell and its gates are prevailing. Oh, say, can you see the kingdom within us? It's the kingdom of Jesus. To what shall we compare? Spirit of the hour, if not a sword. It frees us, unites us, enslaves and divides us in violence. Help us, Lord. His kingdom is not of this world or of any kingdom whose ruler's face is on a penny. He comes to make all things bright, put a new wine in us. He's chosen the small things to outlast the great, the meek and the merciful to shine through the hate. Though it seems some days that hell and its gates are prevailing. Oh, say, can't you see we have one allegiance? It's to the kingdom of Jesus. He who is in us is greater than he who is in the world. He who is in us is greater, and he's overcome the world. Oh, his kingdom is not one of slander or rage, but one that is ruled by the Lamb who is slain and is worthy of wisdom and honor and glory and strength. No pain, no division, no public disgrace will compare with seeing the smile on his face as he welcomes us home as children with places at the table. Neither death, nor threat, nor power can ever separate us from the love of God forever in Christ Jesus. Everything shall pass away, but not the word that's within us. No, it's the kingdom of Jesus. The kingdom of Jesus. To what shall we compare? Kingdom of Jesus, not a seed. It's small, it's sown, it's tended and grown, and it's sturdy in you and me. Its branches never break, and its fruit never withers. His kingdom is not of this world or of any kingdom whose ruler's face is on a penny. He comes to make all things bright and put a new wine in us. He's chosen the small things to outlast the great, the meek and the merciful to shine through the hate. Though it seems some days that hell and its gates are prevailing. Oh, say, can you see the kingdom within us? It's the kingdom of Jesus. To what shall we compare? The spirit of the hour, if not a sword. It frees us, unites us, enslaves and divides us in violence. Help us, Lord. His kingdom is not of this world or of any kingdom whose ruler's face is on a penny. He comes to make all things bright, put a new wine in us. He's chosen the small things to outlast the great, the meek and the merciful to shine through the hate. Though it seems some days that hell and its gates are prevailing. Oh, say, can't you see we have one allegiance? It's to the kingdom of Jesus. He who is in us is greater than he who is in the world. He who is in us is greater, and he's overcome
Okay.
the world.
Thank you for doing that. Sounds like a trivial point, but I think it's a really serious one. You know, Jesus said if you want to inherit the kingdom, you need to become like a child. In fact, he says you won't receive the kingdom if you don't come to me like a child. And it was completely inevitable what just happened, wasn't it? Kids straight away, get in there. Somebody went 9 times. How many? 10. He said he's got so much sin in his life that he needed to go 10 times. Please don't tell the Baptist Union that we also did 2 dogs during that time. But isn't there something beautiful about the childlikeness that just goes, I can do this, so I will, rather than the reticence perhaps of our maturity that says, is this silly or not? So thank you for doing that together. We've got an Easter Sunday service coming up in not too very long, and that's bad English, but soon, in a couple of months' time. If you'd like to get baptized, we'll open this up again, put water in it, and do that. Equally, we go on the beach on Easter Sunday morning, and if you'd like Sam to baptize you in the sea, I'll help him. But if you'd like to get baptized on Easter Sunday, that feels like a good opportunity to do that for a real public declaration of what the church has always done for generations, to say this is what it looks like. This is my playing out in a beautiful, profound way what it looks like to turn away and to turn towards Jesus. Hopefully, if you've got a little piece of string, there's some extra if you missed out. What I want you to do is I want you to right now put it somewhere where you will stumble across it again this week. What I'd suggest, I haven't got a loop on my trousers today, but you could tie it on a belt loop. You could tie it on, if you've got a hoodie on, you could tie it on the end of your strings on your hoodie. But just somewhere where it catches your eye and you think to yourself, I have a choice. I have a choice to turn towards the ways of the kingdom of Jesus in kindness. So I'd really encourage you to do that. We're nearly done. We're going to sing. We've got a song that we're going to sing, and then Maddie's going to help us to finish. Thanks, Paul. Let's stand together and let's sing.
We're going to sing Our Lighthouse. So if you know the song well, just make sure to change the I's for We's. But they should be up on the screen. In our wrestling and in our doubts, in our failures, you don't walk out. Your great love will lead us through. You are the peace
So we'll stay standing for our final prayer. Oh, it's lovely seeing everyone play down there. It's so sweet. Okay, so again. Ooh, lovely. Are we doing this one? Okay, first prayer again, yes. So much giggling. Sorry, I just gotta wait for the words. So again, I'll say the what in white, and if you repeat in yellow. This is the beginning of the good news that invites us to change. Turn around, we turn towards life. A voice calls out in the wilderness, turn back, turn around, make a new way. When our choices have taken us off course, away from love and away from justice, we turn around and we turn towards life. Turning back is not about shame or fear, but about noticing, about choosing again. Jesus comes close and says, the time is now, God is near. We turn around and we turn towards life. So with open hearts and our steps towards you, we begin again together. We turn around and we turn towards life. Come, let us worship. Thank you, everybody.
Amazing. Have a seat. Thanks so much for being with us today. There's some tea and coffee left if you want to grab that. Don't forget to do something with your pieces of string. And where's the mealworms and locusts? There's some more for you. I can't believe they're not all gone. So do help yourself when you have tea or coffee. And thanks so much for being with us today.